Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1, putting in another cache. This is a diesel tank. You can use oil tanks for heating, but this one's a diesel tank. I've had it for 2 years, so I've let it sit. It was empty. I don't use gas tanks because I'm not an expert in that, and when you start cutting into a gas tank that might have fumes in it, I don't know how to do it properly and safely, so I just use the oil drums or the diesel, and they're completely empty, and I let them sit because I do not want to blow myself up. This one is approximately 3 foot tall, 5 foot long. This is the smallest one I've put in. Usually they're a little bit bigger, but this is the most common available size to you. You can check Craigslist or check with companies that sell heating oil in your area. They might find some tanks that are old, and those give them to you. This is an awesome thing to do because, first of all, if you have a tornado come through and you wipe out all your structures, you're still going to have a bunch of supplies underground. Plus, if you cache it properly, hide it and bury it, no one's going to find it, so it's a little bit more secure. I have about a little less than 2 hours into this one. Basically what I did first was I drilled a hole in the end and I cut across with a jigsaw. After I did that, I went ahead and put the hinges on. I drilled holes so that everything lined up perfectly. Then I went ahead and did my final cut for my door. I'm going to weld 2 hasps on here and here, and I'll also weld this onto here. I like putting the screws in it first and then welding it because then I know it's in the right place. So I don't have to grind off the welds. Open it up. This one is a diesel. It's been sitting. This one is pretty much clean. It's a little dirty. Everything is totally out of it. I'm going to go ahead and pressure wash the inside, and then it'll be nice and clean. I'll go ahead and cut the bolts off so you don't kneel on them when you're trying to get in. For the floor, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but I like putting a floor in there. That way when you set stuff, especially ammo cans or cases of food or anything in there, it sits easier. So basically there's a lot of ways you can do it. You take a 2x4, put in the bottom. You can cut 2x4s or pressure treated 1x for decking. Cut it the right size. Put it in here. Then you can screw it into your main support. It'll also rest on the walls. And then after you get that all in, you can put a strip on both sides if you want, just a small strip. Just put a screw in each one. And that makes a great solid floor so you can put stuff in it. I like putting the floor in for another reason. If at any chance you get any leakage in here, that water will sit about 4 or 5 inches off your supplies, so it won't wreck anything. That's excellent. After I get everything welded up on here, after I put it in, I'll tar it. You might need to take a file around just a little bit. If you were going to use long term and you're going to set this up, put it away, and then camouflage it, this metallized tape is awesome because what you can do is when you get it all set up and you fill it up and you're done, go ahead and just run it around the whole thing. And what that will do is keep out the spiders and any nasty little critters that will get in there. So this is excellent if it's going to be for long term and you're not going to get into it for a while. You got some holes on the top where the fill is and the vent. I'm going to take this vent off and just put a cap on here. I'm going to change out this, or what I'll do is I have some sticky rubberized material. I'll cover this up. This whole thing will be taken into position. I'll have my hole dug. I'll dig my hole. I'll put a couple timbers or boards down, and then I'll go ahead and tar this whole thing. I'll probably have about $15–20 in tar in it. And then after I get it tarred, I'll just pull my supports out, and me and my son will let it go in. Then we'll cover it up. Before I cover it up, I'll probably take just a cheap tarp, put over top of it. It will stick to the tar, and it will just help when water hits it, it'll run off. The only thing that really will be exposed will be the front, and you can do a few things on the front. You know, it'll be dug out. You can extend something. I'm going to put a little bit of plexiglass I have, so I'll put some plexiglass here. The weight will hold it down. It'll just be a little porch, so that will definitely keep rain off of here. The only thing really I'll paint is the front. I'll camouflage that, and I'll also use a camo net that I can drape over the front. And I'll just find a good place in the woods that will hopefully hide it. This one I will probably, I don't know if I'll be burying this on my property or 2 other pieces of property that I could be burying it on. I haven't decided where to put this particular one. This will not be put on public land. If I do cache anything on public land, it's usually just a small container or a 5-gallon container. because I don't want this on public land. Because this one, I'm going to go ahead and put in here some Mouse and Nagants. I'm going to put in a few cheap knives, and then a bunch of food, spare clothing for all my family members. So just in case tornado comes through, takes out everything, at least I know I have the basics of survival in here. It does another thing. You have a lot of stuff at your house, you have a storage problem. By getting it into here underground, you've alleviated a lot of storage problems, because this will hold a lot of stuff. So my next video, I'll show you a little bit more. Hopefully I can get it done in the next week or two. Just time is hard to find. So hopefully this will give you some ideas. Really roughly the hinges were free. I'm going to scrounge up some boards. So basically I'll have $15 or $20 into the tar, and everything else is pretty much free or scrounge. So look into it. This could be an option for you, especially if you have bug out property and you're going to bug out to it but you don't have any structures on it, or even if you have structures. Put a couple of these in, take some of your more valuable stuff, leave it in here, lock it up, camouflage it, because if they break into your bug out cabin or your bug out location, they're going to steal things. So this will give you a little bit more security. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get some ideas from it. It's real easy to do. A few power tools and you can do it. Just be very, very careful. If you're not sure of what you're doing when it comes to cutting into a fuel tank, don't do it, or find somebody that has some experience working with this, because you don't want to blow yourself up or get hurt. Thanks for watching.